Are you ready?
It's time
For a new season of Garden Time!
Welcome to Garden Time and welcome to our 13th season.
Yeah, that's right. We have hit our terrible teens. However, what is not terrible is we have another entire season of great gardening information.
And today is no exception. We'll be showing you how to plant blueberries in containers.
We're also going to be diving into seed starting.
But first, how to prune your roses.
So on this chilly morning, I am up at the Washington Park Rose Garden. I'm here with Rachel, the curator. And Rachel, you know, a lot of us get scared about roses. I don't know why, because they're really not terrifying plants, but we really are concerned and we think, well, I didn't prune back on, in February when I was supposed to, and now that we're leaning into March, what can I do? And you're here to tell us that that's okay.
Yeah, rest assured, nothing will happen to them. And it does look scary. You have blooms, it looks like, it's going to, flush some growth and you're just going to ruin that. But actually, it's better that you prune them than not.
And so this is the example. These are the ones that you cut last fall, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that and, again, why you did it.
We did some wind pruning to our waste in November, and that's to keep with all the winds,
right.
To kind of minimize the breakage. But now that we're here in spring, we're actually going to prune to a different body part, which is our knees.
And so just let me say again, because this is a 2 to 3 inches of growth already, but that's okay.
That's okay,
You're still going to cut them down to where they need to be now.
Absolutely, but otherwise they're just going to get really tall and gangly and they're going to break. Right. So it might delay it by a little bit, like the blooms, but they'll still bloom and actually do better when they're blooming.
So when you look at this now, this is something that is happening currently. How do you test and see which stuff you want to take out? What's your process?
So the first thing I would do is I would get rid of anything that's smaller than a pencil.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm doing that is these look nice and new. You think, oh, I should keep them, but really they're going to shoot up really tall and they're really not going to produce much of a bloom. So you want to focus all your energy into kind of more the stronger canes.
Okay.
So you see that I just cut them down.
Right.
And see, look, we have one here. I'm just going to cut that just to make a point there. And next thing is you got to have your, you're going to put out your dead or diseased wood. So you can kind of see that this one here just has like some brown in it. You have some breakage. Right. So I'm just actually going to go ahead and cut that down. And a trick I like is I kind of remove the cane with my loppers when I cut it.
It's much easier than grabbing it, isn't it?
Exactly. And so another thing is while I'm doing that, I'm opening up the middle.
Right.
So by taking out my dead, diseased ones, I'm actually going to open it up. And so when I make my more detailed cuts, it's a little bit easier to manage.
And then when you say dead and disease, can I just show you right here?
Absolutely.
Are you talking about like this stuff here even? There's scarring there.
Absolutely.
So that is enough that you'll go down, take that completely out then.
Absolutely, because that will be a vector for disease. You're going to have all the spores coming for disease.
Right.
The opening is going to create more problems than it's worth.
Then if you'll just look over here, is this the one then? This one you've done, right?
Absolutely.
And you really narrowed it down. I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 main stems. Is that the process you're shooting for then?
That's exactly what I'm shooting for. Everyone, worries about being aggressive, but, I definitely encourage, be aggressive. That chant we have in high school.
I do indeed.
Applies to horticulture, so.
And then let me ask another question. I see these a lot at home. This is clearly a fresher one versus
absolutely.
This. Are you gonna leave that, since that's not a pencil one, do you cut that out or leave the older one?
So I'm actually going to, and this one does have a little bit of disease. Probably what I'm going to do is, it's still a nice healthy cane. I mean, this one's a really good one, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Every cane's going to get a cut because any cut initiates growth. It's just not going to go down as far. And this actually is a pretty good cane, so I'm just going to take it down a little bit lower.
So really, it's nothing has to be set in stone, does it? So you can really, and if you mess up, that's okay too.
Absolutely, because they're going to come back no matter what.
Right.
And then you can always reprune next year. The important thing is to get the older dead wood, to get the pencil thin ones. And another example, look at this little, he's kind of deformed a little bit. So what are we going to do in that situation? But I see you're going to prune right above a bud.
Right.
You're going to cut that, and so that will be a nice, healthy cane.
And then just for my own edification, I have one more question that I always think about when I prune. You cut above the bud that is clearly going to come out this way. Do you try to do that so they don't grow internally?
In a perfect world, you can do that. I know here at the Rose Test Garden, we don't pay as much attention to that just because we have so many, so we're trying to be quick. But basically, if you really have the time, I would recommend...
Just pay attention to that.
Pay attention to that, because any bud, when you see a bud, it's going to go out that direction.
Right.
So if you have the time and you want to spend some time shaping, you absolutely can do that. So.
Well, there you go. It is not too late to prune your roses. And even though there's not a lot of flowers out here right now, there is always beauty out here at the Rose Garden. So come on out and spend some time here. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Absolutely.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
I've been a Capital Subaru customer for 15 years, and one of the main reasons is because they treat me well and I want to shop local. The service department is excellent, and I always feel like I'm taken care of here. In fact, they call me now even after I've driven off the lot to remind me to come in and get my car washed. That's service. One of the reasons why I like coming to Capital Subaru, actually, they have the dog area, and I can just walk my dog around the whole area and we can enjoy the outside. I got it my way on the Parkway.
Your garden begins here at our local farm. My grandfather and father have nurtured plants here for 70 years. We breed Northwest hardiness into every bloom, and we take as much pride in your garden as you do. So when you're ready to turn your empty space into something beautiful, we're here to help by sharing what we know, inspiring your vision, crafting plants that meet your high standards. The best gardens begin and continue to grow at Owl's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and Wilsonville.
So as each new season comes around the corner to us, we have to start thinking about things that are happening in that season. Today we're going to be talking about seed starting because we all want to get that jump on our vegetable gardens. So a couple things to remember when you're growing seeds. You can certainly just, if you've saved these like 4-inch pots from previous seasons in your garden, you can certainly just wash them out. Make sure you wash them out good, but you can wash them out and use them. But there's also a whole host of different type of compartmentalized seed starting things you can buy at independent garden centers. So once you decide how you want to grow the seeds and what container you're going to use them in, the next really important step is what kind of soil. We really like the black gold seedling mix. We know it's clean and we know that it's really made well and it's ready for seed starting. Now you might say to yourself, hey, I'm just going to go grab some garden soil because that's really nutritious. It is if you've composted well, but then also remember outside there can be all kinds of disease in it, there can be insects, there can be things that would really attack those young, fresh seedlings before they even get started, so you really don't want to do that. Now, once you get this going, you might also think about a dome or a cover. Now you can get those. We have chosen not to do that, but you can certainly put a dome on them to help maintain the moisture. Also with seed starting mix, it's often very dry, but we've already pre-moistened this a little bit because you do not want to put fresh started seeds in really dry soil and then try to make them moist. That just doesn't work.
It's also good to choose really good seed, and make sure that it's packaged for this year. And you can find all that information right on the packages. We chose Renee Garden seeds and also Nickel Garden nursery seeds. And Nichols is a company right here in Oregon. You'll find all the information you need right on the front of the package, or Renee's is all on the back. You'll find out how long it takes for the germination of the seed, how far apart you want to put them in the garden, and also how long it'll take before you can harvest the fruit. So we chose to use cucumber seed. Now all seeds are going to be different size. Cucumber seeds are pretty big, so we wanted to be able to show you. So we're going to put one of these seeds inside one of the cells, and we're going to take just a regular pencil to make a hole, and then just drop the seed in there, cover it up, and then we're going to just make sure that we add some moisture just so that soil is nice and moist to help the seed germinate. Another great tip is to mark what you plant. Don't rely on your memory. Use some kind of a stake, mark what kind of vegetable it is and the date, that's really important, and then put it right in the soil. Now that you have all your plants planted and you have a mark, don't forget to maintain great moisture with the seedlings. You can't let these seeds dry out for even a minute or you have to start all over again.
Two other things that you really do need to pay some attention to is both the light and the heat. Seeds tend to want a lot of consistency in that, so you have to find a southern or a western window so you get plenty of light. Now remember, if you have a bunch of big trees or a two-story house next to you that blocks the light, that's really not light. So if you don't have that kind of light, you can always get all different kinds of lighting systems that would work anywhere in your house. As far as the heating goes, most of us keep a house about 70 degrees. That will be fine if it's maintained at that. But if you're dropping down to the low 60s, you can always get a heating pad. Many garden centers carry them, and that will help you keep a truly consistent heat until those seedlings take start.
So now it's time to think of the last step. It's been a couple weeks now and your plants are actually starting to grow. You want to wait until the leaves have a second set of leaves on the stem. Then you know that the plants are really coming along and they're going to be old enough to get out into the garden. You also want to pick up the little tray packs and see if you see little white roots coming out from the tray pack. As you can see, there's no roots starting out, and so we know that these are not ready to go outside. It's also a little bit chilly to go outside yet, so you want to check with your seed packages to see when they recommend that the seedlings go outside, or go to the OSU website to see when they recommend the transplants be put out in the garden for the season.
So now if this went a little too fast for you, remember you can always go to gardentime.tv where we have all kinds of information on you starting your own seeds for your garden.
Over the 30 years that our family has been in the nursery industry, we've learned that anyone can supply a customer with plants and garden supplies. But it's supplying those plants and supplies backed by a knowledgeable staff that can transform a garden and take it from ordinary to extraordinary. That's what we do at Sagawa Nursery. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years, with the help of your friends at The Wall.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
Little Baja is your source for a whole lot of terracotta and concrete too. From bird baths and benches to Buddhas, bears, and fountains, plus the exclusive Baja chimney. We have an amazing variety of the finest in terracotta and concrete containers. Come check out our selection of statuary for any garden theme or setting. So for something for the garden, deck, or patio, come see us at Little Baja on East Burnside in Portland. Find us on Facebook too.
Well, I'm at the wonderful Portland Nursery on Stark Street. I'm here with Sarah. And Sarah, we're all so much itching for spring. And I realize that a lot of us want flowers, but those of us that really love to grow our own fruits and vegetables are really thinking about fruits right now. Tell me about this great selection of plants and why you chose them as blueberries to put in pots.
Sure, yes. So I didn't tell you this before, but blueberries are the #1 plant that I recommend. If you're only gonna have one plant, I think blueberries are the one for you.
And why is that?
Well, not only are they ornamental, but they're yummy and they're easy.
Yeah.
And so that's why we picked some that could go in pots. So for people with small spaces or who want to kind of snack on their way, with into the house, like keeping them on the patio. And there's lots of bigger varieties of blueberries that you can plant out, but we specifically chose smaller ones, 4 pots, to accommodate kind of anyone's lifestyle.
So let's talk about them.
Definitely. So my number 1 pick is going to be the Sunshine Blue. This one is a pretty mature plant here, so it's a lot bigger than the others. But this one is one I have in my own yard. It's semi-evergreen. It's got beautiful fall color, and it will do better having other blueberries planted to pollinate, but it will be self-pollinating as well. So that's my number 1 pick. I picked out some other ones that are a little bit smaller. So like this one here, top hat, is gonna get to be 18 by 18 inches. So
that's small.
It's really small. I mean, you could put that anywhere.
Yeah.
I should say all of these are gonna need full sun.
Okay, yeah.
Very hot full sun. But it's gonna have the beautiful fall color as well.
Yeah.
And the blueberry fruit, as they're developing, look like a very dainty, pretty bell-shaped flower. It's got a very unique coloring to it. So this other one here that I've picked is North Sky. This one's gonna be about 1 foot to 1.5 foot. So again, really, really small and compact. And there are things, you know, a little bit bigger, but we really stuck with kind of the most compact, tasty fruits here. And then Polaris is the other one that I've chosen. This one's gonna be about 3 to 4 feet. And it's got, you know, some really nice fall red color as well.
And I don't remember, this must be a newer variety. This one is one I haven't heard of recently.
I feel like it's been around for a while now.
And still a nice lower growing one though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of in that, you know, 3 to 4, not quite as dwarf size as these ones, but I think that's a good size for a patio as well. So
now I have to say I've heard of the branding of Brazzleberry, but I hear it's a whole new brand now, like bushels and berries. I don't know, but the point is it's good.
Yes, it is good, and it's this is a line that's marketed for patio or pot fruit.
Yeah.
So this is a blueberry along the same lines as their raspberry. So it's a really good blueberry as well. Going to have a little higher price tag than some of these other ones that I feel like are going to be just as good in a pot. So.
And what about soil? Is there a special soil or anything?
Well, when you're potting up in a pot, you're going to want a potting soil. So that's why I chose this EB Stone, although a lot of different potting soils could do. And then blueberry is also like acidic soil, so I chose this Rhodea azalea and camellia food to give it a little bit of the acidity there. If you were planting in the ground, you'd want to go with a more acidic compost.
So Sarah, we have a container here. It seems a bit small to me, but some of them can handle this one, right?
Yeah, this particular plant's only going to get 18 by 18 inches, so it's going to be quite small. This is as small of a pot as I would move into, but the other ones you're going to be able to pot and they'll be happy for maybe a year or two, and then you're going to have to kind of pull them out of the pot, you know, kind of check and see how the roots are doing.
Okay.
If it's getting tight, you're going to need to up pot it or prune the roots.
So really it's just paying attention to the plant after every year or so and seeing how it's behaving.
Yeah, especially, I mean, these are small, but the bigger ones, they're going to need eventual up potting, or it's a great temporary use for maybe someone who's renting and doesn't want to plant in the ground yet or something like that.
Perfect. So. And I'm going to assume that spring is busy, so should people give you a call to make sure you have any of these specific varieties available?
Yeah, we have our biggest selection now, and we just dwindle down through the year. The jelly bean especially is going to be tight, so I would call on that one. We're getting them in and out all the time.
Perfect. Well, you know, it's that time of year we get to start thinking about stuff like this again. So for more information, we always invite you to go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to the Portland Nursery website, give them a call, check things out, come out, visit them, and make a beautiful way to create wonderfully edible fruit and your own patio. Thank you, my dear lovely.
Thanks.
So, you know, it is that time of year when we should be really thinking about spraying horticulture oil on all of our fruit-bearing trees. So this can only happen for a couple more times, maybe this weekend or next weekend. And the reason we do it is because we want to make sure that there are no eggs or larvae or hidden things in all these ridiculous cracks and crevices of fruit trees. Now, I'm using the All Seasons Horticulture Spray Oil of Ebonite, and you can always tell they're natural products because of this brown part of the label. So you just cover them up real good, and you want to make sure that you get them right about the time these things are budding out. This is the new fruit that's going to come out, and the blossom will be there, but you don't want to get it before that opens up, so cover it real well early.
Now there's another product from Bonide, it's called Bon Neem, and it's neem oil, which is a natural product. And again, we know it's natural because of the brown on the Bonide label. And so this is a great product because you can use it longer than a dormant plant. You could use it up to the day of harvest. So make sure that you do read all the packages when you are using any kind of a spray. And remember, you never want to spray any product when the flowers are open. We want to protect our pollinators.
So if you just take a few minutes of your time, you can ensure a really bountiful and beautiful harvest this year.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery, where spring is our favorite time of year. It's the time to prepare your garden for planting. We invite you to get a jump on spring with our huge selection. Let Portland Nursery's staff of professionals help with groceries you can grow. We've got the seeds, veggie starts, and expertise to ensure your success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of classes and special events. Portland Nursery, helping make your backyard your favorite destination at 50th and Stark and 90th and Division.
Your garden is only as good as the ingredients you use. That's where Black Gold can help. Black Gold Seedling Mix is formulated for successful seed germination and strong seedling growth. Black Gold Seedling Mix is organic and OMRI listed, so you can start this year's organic garden outright. Look for Black Gold at your local garden center or go online to blackgold.bz. Black Gold, all the riches of the earth.
Come to where the color is. Come to Egan Gardens. We've worked hard growing healthy plants for you so that your gardening is easy. Add sparkle to your garden with our perennials, container plants, and skillfully designed baskets and planters.
It's our opening weekend full of sales, drawings, refreshments, and lots of flowers. Check out our website for a coupon for free pansies.
Egan Gardens, where it's all about the plants. We're located west of I-5 at exit 263 on River Road.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Thermador's lifestyle appliances make it easy. Right now, save up to $85.46 with our exclusive 1-2 free event. Try before you buy in our live Thermador kitchens. Oregon-based and family-owned, setting the standard since 1947. Standard TV and appliance.
William, you know, Easter's just a few short weeks away, and today we have a project that you could do at home to have like a little basket of Easter grass for the holiday.
It really is fun. And now remember, this is a great project for kids. So Judy, let's go through the steps. How do you start?
Well, it's just like planting any seeds, and we have a seed, it's called wheatgrass or catgrass, and you know, if you have a cat, they're really going to love this too. So after the holiday, they can eat it.
Yeah.
Well, you want to use some kind of a container that you can use your arrangement in. I have a basket here with weed barrier as the bottom, or I used a lasagna pan, or like this other basket. You could use the weed barrier, or you can line it with saran wrap, just so that the water doesn't go all over and make a mess. And then I also like to use Black Gold seedling mix because this is a nice light potting mix and it's great for starting seeds. It just holds water just enough to get the seeds germinated.
So all you did is put like just a thin layer in, and then I'm assuming that this spray bottle was for watering that?
Right, well with this you really want to get a thicker layer. I did put some seed down, but then you want to overseed it. I mean, you really want to put a lot of seed there because each seed is only going to put a few blades of grass.
Because this isn't like you're doing your yard. You really want to lay it heavy to get a full lush growth from it.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to cover it with a little more potting mix so that it doesn't, the seeds don't dry out once we moisten it.
And when you do use this spray bottle to spray it, we want to make sure that you don't use like a regular watering can, because even if it's a small one, that flow will really disturb the seeds and mess it all up. Plus you'll get water setting in the bottom, and you want to stay away from that too.
Right. And then I do take some saran wrap and cover it once I moisten, and this will kind of make like a little greenhouse, and it'll keep the moisture in. And if you see too much moisture on it, then you want to take it off for the day, but it really helps make that germination happen faster.
Yeah, and now the fun thing really is after a couple of weeks, you're going to get this kind of growth of plants up here. You can do a couple of things. We kind of cut the back of this one, turn around so you can see it. So if you want to make it more formal and a little less wild looking, you can just take scissors and prune it out, or you can leave it
Leave
in
it
the full
wild,
level.
of course.
And then really, Judy, it's all about decorating the basket.
It is all about decorating.
We have a lamb.
We got chocolates.
And if you do have some of this, you know, it comes in green and pink and yellow. If you do have some of this fake Easter egg grass stuff, you can fill it
tuck
in
it
around
in.
the sides to cover the
I got a little Easter
black
bunny here.
felt that we used. Another fun tip too is when the made this one, we just did it in a baking pan. You see how easy it pulls out? Well, if you have another basket that's got some soil in it, you can easily move that aside.
Put that in.
And then just place it down in there. And you could even put your stuff around the soil part that's not
Right.
covered with the grass.
Oh, you could put more Easter grass. You could plant pansies in. Wouldn't that be
You
cute?
sure could. And the great thing too about this, Judy, is it's not something that you just have to do at Easter.
No, not
You
at all.
could make these baskets and use them pretty much, you know, all through the season that you're outside on the patio for a great like dinner display or if you have friends over.
You know, it's a great project for everyone to do, kids and big kids too. So don't forget, look at your independent garden center for wheatgrass or catgrass and really start some for the holiday.
Thank you so much for watching Garden Time and celebrating this first show of our 13th season.
As always, please go to gardentime.tv for more information about today's show or any of our past shows.
So thanks for spending time with us today, and it brings me great joy to say once again, we'll see you next week right here on Garden Time.
Garden Time is going to Europe, and you can join us. Next August, join Garden Time as we tour gardens in London, Paris, and Belgium. See world-famous gardens like Hampton Court, Kew, Sissinghurst, and Great Dixter, and Monet's water lily garden in France. We'll also see sights in London and Paris, like the Tower Bridge and the Eiffel Tower. We'll also stop in the Champagne area of France, tour a Belgian brewery, castle gardens, and a winery. We'll also have a river cruise. Our final stop is a visit to the Floral Carpet in Brussels. We'll be staying in 4-star hotels with 24 of your meals and your airfare included. Mark your calendar for next August for this gardener's bucket list tour and then sign up. And if you book now, you'll save $300 per person. Visit the Garden Time website and click on the tours link for all the details. And we'll see you in Europe.
Judy,
Yep.
do you remember when I asked you if you liked me? I mean, if you really liked me?
Yeah, I liked you on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I need you to do that again.
Well, we really need everyone to like the new Facebook page for Garden Time. So you just go to gardentime.tv and click on the Facebook icon and like us again for our brand new page.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.